Hey, welcome back friends. Today I am so excited to be sharing with you a recipe that I make every year. You have to start this recipe this week if you want to make the best Christmas cake to serve to your loved ones this holiday season. The one thing that I love about this recipe is its versatility. You can completely substitute out all different varieties of dried fruit. So if you don't like currants or sultanas, swap in some more raisins. The other thing is if you have smallies in your household, then you can obviously amend the recipe and take the boozy element out, because yes, I am going to be making a more traditional style cake with lots and lots of booze. It is super early in the morning and I find this the best time to head out before Rue wakes up and pop off to the shop to get the ingredients. I live in a small Irish town with just over 120,000 people. When my family come over to visit, they always go on about the price of things in Ireland and think it's really expensive, especially the groceries. I guess maybe I've probably just gotten used to it after living here the last 10 years, or maybe it's just inflation that makes it so difficult for me to keep count anymore. But for today's recipe, I'm not going to be spending any more than 20 euros on the baking ingredients, plus a bottle of brandy, which we'll have to pop back to the shop later to get, because I completely forgot I can't buy it now because of the restriction on the sale of alcohol in Ireland. So we will pop back later and get some of that. Right, you stay. She's like a little Chewbacca. Do you hear that? She does that every morning when she wakes up. She sounds like Chewbacca. So we're back, and I think that was a successful trip to Tesco. I met a really lovely woman actually. Obviously, she did comment because obviously I was videoing, and she was actually really, really sweet, and she asked me for my Instagram handle and she said she'd give me a follow and all that kind of thing. So that was really, really sweet. And she just asked me what I was up to, so obviously explained I was doing some baking today. So picked up a few bits. This recipe is actually part of like a two-part type thing, so you need your patience a little bit with this. So I know most of you are out there are actually gardeners that watch this channel, so I know you have perfected the art of patience through kind of learning how to garden. What I'm going to do is stage one. So we need to jump into the kitchen and we need to rehydrate our dried fruits in the brandy. I have 300 grams of mixed dry fruit here. I'm just going to put into my bowl. So I have currants, raisins and sultanas, and I'm going to go in with 125 mils of brandy. That works out to be about 4 of these shot glasses. Give it a good old mix so that the brandy's covering everything, and then cover with cling film, and we're going to leave this sit overnight or for a minimum of 24 hours. I'm also going to prep the liners for my cake tin. So I'm going to double line this, and to make an easy insert for the base of the baking tray, I'm going to make a square out of the parchment paper, and then I'm going to put the corner of that into the middle of my pan and kind of crimp down the edges just to make an indentation on the parchment paper. So you should be left with kind of a quarter of a circle. This is to save me getting pens out and drawing it round and trying to make a circle with scissors basically. So I'm going to cut round the indentation that I've made, and then hopefully when you unfold it, it will look something like this. So a perfect little circle to sit inside the pan. I'm going to go in and make the parchment paper for kind of the height of the tray. So I'm also going to double line this. So I'm going to cut parchment paper in half and then put those halves in half again. I'm just going to neaten up this edge here just so it looks a little bit prettier when it bakes, but you don't need to be too particular with this. So I'm just testing the size here to see, does it fit and is it wide enough to fit in there? And then just testing also the length there on the outside parchment paper. And we will come back to this tomorrow. I also picked up this free bowl when I picked up my flour, so I'm super chuffed for that. So I got that for free today, well chuffed. We are going to cream our sugar and our butter. So we're going in with just over 1 block of butter, and we'll keep this bit for greasing our tray with later. So you want to keep creaming this until it turns a little bit lighter in colour. You're then going to want to add your eggs. So you want to add these individually in making sure they are properly incorporated. You're going to want to add all 6 eggs, but do not add them all at once. You're going to want to do them one by one. The reason for this is to make sure that each one is incorporated properly before you add the next. Otherwise you risk splitting your mixture. Now, as you add more and more, your mixture will feel like it's kind of getting a little bit looser. So don't panic if it does split, if it does curdle. Just activate like turbo mode and start mixing as quick as you can. Or use a stand mixer, might be a little bit easier. As you can see, I'm giving this a good old mix in the bowl. And if you still feel like it has split a little bit, please don't panic. You can just add your flour, a tablespoon, or when you go to add all of the flour, your mixture should come together anyway, so don't panic. We're going to add our flour, our cinnamon, and our almonds, and give it a really good stir. You want to make sure that you're scooping right down to the bottom of this bowl and that all of that white flour is incorporated into the mixture, and it should start to look something like this. We're going to move on to the fun part and add our boozy fruit. So this looks absolutely amazing and smells delicious, and we're going to put the whole bowl in, juices and all, every last single bit. I'm just going to scrape around all the edges, and we're not going to lose any of that flavour. And then we're going to go in and give it a mix. It is really that simple, guys. This mixture will start to get a little bit kind of like tougher to stir as you go on, but it's well worth it. So just make sure you're digging right down into the bottom of that bowl and making sure you're incorporating those fruits through the whole mixture so that you've got a nice layer when you cut into it. So we're going to keep adding our dried fruits. So these are glacé cherries. I actually halved them just so that it's a nicer kind of texture and flavour when you're actually eating it. And I'm going to give my arms a little rest and grease up my baking tray and prep this. So I'm just going to use the butter as a glue to stick the first layer of parchment into my baking pan, and then I'll also use it as a glue again to stick the second piece of parchment to the one that's already inside. It's a really handy trick and it keeps everything still, so I absolutely love doing that. And just making sure that it's like in properly. Spend the time now to make sure your baking tray is correctly lined, because it's just so worth spending that bit of extra time. And don't panic if your parchment paper is slightly taller than the pan that you're baking in. It's actually going to benefit your bake a little bit if it is taller than the height of your pan, and stop the top of your pan actually, the top of your bake actually burning. So kind of handy. So don't trim it too short. I always like to leave like an inch of headroom. And then the last bit of parchment, it might seem a bit excessive, guys, but like I've done this every year and I've never burnt a Christmas cake, so I just do it all the time. So this is why I do it, because it's just always worked. But I don't know, you guys might think this is a little bit excessive. So then I'm just going to secure the last piece of parchment paper with a little bit of twine, and then cut the ends of it just so it's not dangling and catching in the racks of the oven later when I put it in. But yeah, that's it. It's so simple to line a baking tray, and this will protect your cake whilst it cooks for all those many hours. So we're going to finish off mixing up our mixture, adding our mixed peel, and my secret ingredient, which is black treacle. So this is just the stickiest stuff, and it's going to give the cake the most beautiful dark molasses flavour. I absolutely love making Christmas cakes with black treacle. And there you have it. Mix it up and pop it straight into the pan that you've lined. It's ready to go in the oven. So I'm going to put this on gas mark 1, which is about 120C fan, and cook it 4.5 hours. That's it. Good girl. So we have a few hours to burn whilst that cooks. It's going to take like, I'd say about 4.5 hours, but it might be more because like obviously every oven is different. My oven tends to run a little bit hot, so I've just come down a little country lane with Rue to get a bit of fresh air and a few steps in for the day. So she's going mad sniffing everything. She hasn't been down this lane for a while, so all new smells for her today. I absolutely love coming down here for a walk. The people around here are so nice. Like, it's almost like they know you. So I was giving way to people. They were obviously walking in the road, but like obviously there's no pathways because all the roads are really rural and proper country. So like I gave way to them and they like threw their hands up in the air, gave me a big wave. Like, I have no idea who they are. And yeah, literally, like, I have no idea who they are, but they like, both of them gave me like a big smile and we waved, and oh, it's just so friendly around here. It's so nice. So I'm just going on a beautiful little lane walk. I'll give you a little look. So I'm just walking up this beautiful lane with Rue. She's going absolutely mad for all the smells, and it's just gorgeous. Like, I absolutely love all these beautiful stone walls they have as well. They're like just so old school and traditional, and just like absolutely beautiful with all the ivy growing out of the brick wall. I think it's absolutely amazing. So it's pure autumn vibes. All the leaves have fallen. They're crunching under my feet. It's so nice. So we're going to get a few steps in, enjoy this absolutely beautiful day. Like, this is the perfect weather for me now. Like, it's overcast, it's cool, but it's not hot and it's not freezing cold. So I know it's a little bit early to be obviously like thinking about Christmas and things, but like it feels so good to like get one thing already off the list and prepped and ready to sort of go, ready for Christmas. So I'm really, really happy and pleased that we've baked this cake together. It feels so good to be out walking. I actually need to do a little bit more walking. I used to walk this lane and I did like not a competition, it was like a fundraiser for charity, and I did like 100 kilometres in a month. So I did like 5 kilometres up and down this lane for like 4 weeks, and like I lost so much weight, I was feeling so good. So I need to get back into that, and yeah, maybe I will bring you along for my 100 kilometres challenge. I'll let you know when I'm all doing it. Maybe a few of you might want to join in, and yeah, looking forward to kind of getting a little bit fitter and a little bit healthier. I actually cannot wait to get home and see what the cake looks like. I am nearly sure my whole house smells like Christmas. It's going to be absolutely amazing, so I cannot wait to open that door and see what it's like. I am just pulling out the Christmas cake now. The house smells absolutely unbelievable. I'm getting total Christmas feels from the smell in this house right now. So the cook time on this one took a little bit longer than the recipe, so I put mine in for an extra half an hour, so a total cook time of 5 hours. And we are going to leave this on the side covered with a tea towel for 24 hours or until the cake pan has completely cooled. And then once it's completely cooled, we're gonna pop off the casing and give our cake the very first feed. For the first feed, I am going just to go in with 2 tablespoons of brandy, but first I'm going to skewer my cake with little holes all the way around, just so the brandy can soak the whole way through, and then drizzle on those 2 tablespoons of brandy. So if you're doing a boozy one like me, you're going to want to do this every kind of fortnight, 1 to 2 tablespoons of brandy every kind of 2 to 3 weeks in the run up to Christmas, and then you want to stop feeding it probably 2 to 3 weeks before Christmas, just so it's not too soggy and it has time to kind of set, and then you're ready to obviously go and decorate it. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, guys, because obviously we need to decorate our cakes, so that will be an upcoming video. So if you're cooking along with me, hit the subscribe button so you don't miss the upload to remind you guys to decorate your Christmas cakes. And obviously if you're not making a boozy one and you've got little smallies in the house, or you don't cook with alcohol, then an idea is to possibly cook this cake a little bit closer to the time of Christmas and then glaze it up to 3 days before Christmas just with orange juice. It will give it kind of that little Christmas vibe, but obviously without the brandy. I will keep you guys also updated every couple of weeks when I am feeding my cake. So if you follow along with me on IG, then I will put up something on my Instagram stories to remind you guys to feed your cakes whilst I'm feeding mine. So go and give me a follow over on Instagram, and we are going to make the best Christmas cake of 2023 to share with our loved ones this holiday season. Thank you so much for watching. I absolutely love you guys being here. Appreciate you so much, and I will see you in more cooking videos to come.